When it comes to electric vehicles, you may now think that Nissan is one of the first car companies to enter in this field. As early as 1947, they produced the first electric car. And now it finally unveiled its brand new model, which the name is Ariya beside me. But except China, Ariya delayed its release time day by day. So usually in other countries, we call it Ariya 2023 edition. But now we have a chance to see this car very close. When we see its appearance, we feel that its appearance is really now Nissan style. It's a brand new design language. The long and narrow highlights combined with the LED daytime running light are actually quite recognizable. Yes, its LED daytime running lights still continue the family design languages. The closed grille on its front face adopts the front face design of the Ender golden shield. If you look closer at it, there are a lot of bamboo pattern decorations inside, which make the whole panel look less monotonous. So the latest logo will still shine. The overall shape of the car looks tighter and fuller. In terms of its sleek-back shape, I think it looks like a cool SUV. I personally like its entire roof, including the side skirts and the wheel eyebrows, all of which are highlighted. The black covering parts are relatively unified and pointed as a whole. Just as a visual experience, this car doesn't look like a 4.6 meters SUV. The overall design looks much larger than the parameters. It is worth noting that whether it's single model or dual model version, its wheels are 19 inches as standard. And you pay attention to its design details. The front and the rear angles are staggered, which is very technological. But Nissan also keeps some traditional design elements through the car. It doesn't use the hidden door handle that is currently mainstream, but still uses this traditional door handle style. I can totally understand why they do that. There's a possibility that the hidden door handle can now be opened. Nissan Leaf sold around 45,000 units, but none of them burned. This design method of finding balance between novelty and tradition, I believe it's also Nissan style. Now I'm on a common city road, and I think Nissan Ariya gives me a very clear reaction when I'm driving on this road. It doesn't have much driving mode. It's economic, snow-filled, standard, and sport. When I turn off the whole e-pedal, Nissan suddenly between a normal fuel car, and the back reaction is very smooth. It has a slow motion speed when your feet are holding on the back. And also, Nissan Ariya has e-auto because the electric car is much more easy to set this function. Now I want to switch direction, but for me, the cornering lights need some experience to use to it. It's very light, but you can feel that when you are in this edition of the car, you will have much more confidence when you are accessoring the speed. But when you want to switch the exact power of steering wheel or the pedal or bucking, you can't adjust by yourself. They have a whole system by different driving mode. If I switch to sport mode, the whole steering wheel will be very hard and the pedal will be very sensitive. When my toe uses a little bit power touch of the pedal, the speed will increase immediately without any reaction. That's the improvement or the most differences between one motor and dual motors. Test driving is the top edition, which has ARHD configuration as standard. It's quite useful because you don't need to look very often in front of you, especially the screen. It will affect your driving view. Maybe 3 years ago, if I decide to buy an electric car, I won't consider HUD function as that important. But now, I think it's quite necessary for a driver, especially your car is SUV or big MPV. Now is the driving experience on a highway. The limit speed on this city highway is around 80 kilometers per hour. So now I will try some in-seat driving. Like I change the direction very often. It will give you enough confidence to change the direction in different corners of the road. But the whole car, there's still some shortcomings of the wheelbase. I don't suggest you to drive this car to change the directions so often. The main difference in the interior between the single model and the top dual model edition is that the dual model top edition is made of Alcantara material and the rear is double glazed. The overall feeling of the interior is quite advanced. I can say it's a kind of simple advanced. I think the reason is mainly reflected in its material. The feeling of touch brings consumers a very comfort experience. Nowadays, many car brands prefer to hide all physical buttons, but Nissan Ariya designed another traditional way. It puts the logo of the button on the wooden decorated plate, but there's a feedback of strength when touching it, which is wonderful feeling. Nissan Ariya also keep its unique design styles, like the armrest box can adjust the position, and also in the center console you can key the button to turn on the hidden storage box. And another design style of interior is the shape of the ambient lights. Unlike other brands' lines or curves, it's designed with a bamboo light pattern that allows light to faintly come through it. Like the chair, many SUVs have such problems. You can't adjust the height enough to adapt your driving habit. There are visual blind spots when driving many SUVs. Their height adjustment will sometimes not fit for you. The similar details are also designed in the rear space. Even though the wheelbase of Ariya is only 2,775 millimeters, when you sit in the rear, you have enough leg room and headroom. Actually, their main competitor, Volkswagen ID.4, will really fix big challenges. I think it's hard for you to reject such car with beauty designs. Enough trunk space with the rear chair lowered, and all humanoid design details that many brands will ignore. No matter the driving experience of this car or the range, remember, with a acceptable price, all that this car become a very strong product.